In a new report, you'll see first out front, the K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017. And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall. But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
That's CNN host Aaron Burnett pretending to be a journalist and slamming Kamala Harris for flip-flopping and stealing another aspect of Trump's campaign. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and boy oh boy is it funny the things establishment media hacks choose to attack Harris for flip-flopping on. I mean, the media and Democrats have really been trying to do everything in their power to portray Harris as a moderate and gloss over her more radical positions. But her recent ad about the border may be a bridge too far for CNN.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
And on top of critical tweets, Harris also wrote in her 2019 book, quote, "There was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out?" Well, K-File's Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. So, Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. We found more than 50 of those tweets criticizing the border wall before she used that in her ad. And I want people to take a look at just a few of what she said here. She called it wasteful, useless, a waste of taxpayer money, a vanity wall project, a wasteful border wall, a stupid wall, a medieval vanity project, and an unnecessary wall. And those are really just, there were more of this, just like 10 or like 50. But there was really a lot of this was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood for, and she brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
You know, my favorite thing about this segment is how they're pretending this is some exclusive deep dive piece of investigative journalism, when in reality it was all posted online by right-wing accounts almost immediately after the ad was released. Just go on Twitter and you'll see dozens of posts from a week ago featuring video compilations of her mocking the wall and collages of all her social media posts. It's hilarious that even when CNN is correctly pointing something out, they're trying to gaslight you and doing it for all of the wrong reasons.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America. He contrived a national crisis around his big distraction.
All right, so you go through all of that, you've got all the tweets, and yet all of a sudden in the ads, there's pictures of the wall, and then you went through to look at that wall. Yeah. Like, what is that specific wall that's in her campaign ads now? And you found something very interesting about this specific portion of the wall.
And I think what's also really remarkable about this is, you heard her talking about it there, Trump's wall in his campaign during his presidency. There was really no greater symbol of Trump's presidency than the wall, in the way that Democrats were attacking him over the wall and his restrictive immigration policies. So we looked in that ad, and if you look at it, that exact area of wall is in Sasabe, Arizona, and that is a portion of wall that was actually built by Donald Trump. It was built in an area where there was not previous wall. It was actually pretty controversial when they were building it at the time. So just to see that, and then there are other.
She's using his wall that he built to say, "Look at what I did." Basically,
and the other images of the wall, we weren't able to pinpoint, but there's telltale signs that was a Trump wall, because there's an anti-climbing plate on top that became popularized during the Trump years.
It's really incredible reporting and important. All right, Andrew Kaczynski and K-File, thank you very much.
All of this flip-flopping and stealing from Trump that Harris is doing really highlights how unpopular all of her radical policies are, even to the majority of the left. We've gotten to where we are today because Democrats are turning the majority of their base into a frog in boiling water. A more generous interpretation of this would be to say that a lot of Democrats have good intentions that are being manipulated by radical, power-hungry sociopaths. It's why, just like with Biden, they're pretending she's a moderate, and it's why they chose an old white guy who LARPs as a salt-of-the-earth type to be her VP. But let me know what you think. Is Kamala Harris really becoming more moderate, or is it all a ruse to trick saner Democrats into voting for a radical? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!